Welcome to Inside the Space with the Millers. I'm Krista.
And I'm Cory. We've spent our lives in sports, dance, raising kids, building a business, but most importantly, we've been learning and growing every step of the way.
Here, we'll share the real story of chasing dreams, overcoming obstacles, raising kids, and most importantly, celebrating the small victories that make it all worth it.
This is the space where passion meets purpose and where we get to be honest about our journey. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to Inside the Space with the Millers. This episode is very special to us. It is our 10th anniversary of our summer intensives and programs, and we thought we would give you a sneak peek on all of the educators and teachers that have been in and out of the studio creating such amazing energy for us.
We're so grateful to have them in here, and I hope you enjoy. Bear with us. Remember, it was about 110. We were running in and out. There was a whole bunch of teachers that came in and out with 100 kids.
So a few choppy edits in there, but I think everything that everyone had to say was really important. So we hope you guys enjoy.
Enjoy. Today we have very special guest, Tyce Diorio, for our summer intensive. Cool. And today we're literally interviewing some of the teachers coming through, or just not even interviewing, we're just talking with them about teaching and about their time at the space, and just kind of where they are in this time creatively, highs and lows. Any advice you have for like up and coming dancers, anything that's going on in the industry that you would like to share would be awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I'm reading this book.
Oh, get closer to this.
Yeah, I'm reading this book called The Creative Habit that my friend Bella recommended to me. And it's all these things that I've known and heard before, but it just reinforces it. In terms of like creativity, even with myself as an artist, I feel like when I go into the studio to create anything, I think I'm reminded that I'm going in to create something that I like first.
I love that.
That I want to paint. It's me painting, it's sketching, it's trying something, without any judgment on what I'm doing. And I'm just moving forward, doing what I know, what I love, and what inspires me. And also feeling uninspired is important too. Yeah. So my advice to certain dancers is, you have to recognize exactly where you're at. And maybe, I say this thing about like fulfilling your dreams or going after your dreams. And maybe it's not only about pushing yourself and working very hard. What if it's not just that? What if it's not only that? Have you explored anything else that could get you there? Sometimes certain people, certain dancers, certain artists are just very blessed. Or it's like if you feel like the universe has your back, right?
Or you're in line with something.
If you're in alignment, it's perfect to say. If you're in alignment, if you have a focus or a small goal, how do we have to approach it like does it have to have that energy? Is that the only way?
No, I mean, I think there's seasons, right? So
there
like
is.
A tree, right?
Yeah,
it blooms at certain times. So maybe there is dormant times and there's different times of the year that could be like a career, right? Like
absolutely.
You have times when you bloom, times when you go dormant, and you kind of like suck up the water and you build more roots, maybe.
Also creating from a place of joy or navigating from a place of joy and want easily, like with grace and ease. Can't you do it that way? Or is that completely out? Or it has to be like knock down, drag out, fight. Like, and we, artists, we really are hard on ourselves. So we really put a lot of pressure and we have to do it because everyone's looking and, and what about this person they're going to see? And what about all that chatter? You know what I mean? Like that's like.
Well, I think that's the added pressure to that now with social media and being able to see the entire world in the palm of your hand. I'm
just saying though, but the people that I gravitate to on social media, and I watch a lot of social media. I'm a fan. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, but I also like real people.
Yeah.
I click on real people, people who feel authentic, people who feel real, people who feel grounded.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
No,
like
I'm the same way.
ease, like with ease.
I'm looking for
not,
inspiration in that too.
Always. So that's my advice to approach, approaching dance as a dancer. Like approach it with like finesse and sophistication and quality and like.
Oh, I like that.
Like a breath and a whisper. Does it have to be yelling? Do you have to yell? That's all. That's
brilliant.
That's what I'm saying, Cory.
I love that. You and I have always had this like kind of connection in that since I can remember. I remember even just watching your classes at the Space over the years. And just, like every word I was like, oh yes. Oh, yes, I get that. Like,
no, totally. Yeah.
So
because you're a good guy. That's why.
I mean, I'm in a constant molding of trying to be a good guy all the time.
Yeah. And we can feel that. You know what I'm saying? And even in dancers, I can feel when you have your heart when you're dancing first. And then I look at the dancing.
It's funny. I always tell the kids when they first come to the Space, like the biggest compliment I can give you, because obviously I didn't train in technical dance in anything. I said, behind the camera, the biggest thing I can give you in as a compliment is, Tyce, I believe you. Wow. I totally see you. I totally believe you. Because when I'm watching dance through even the lens, a lot of times I'm like, I don't know if I believe that one.
Right.
Oh, they're still trying. They're still figuring it out. I believe little glimpses, but
yes.
you know.
But you know what I was going to say? You married Krista.
I do.
So you knew what technicality was. You know what I'm saying?
She's going to love this clip.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you knew.
I did know.
You definitely knew. So
that's amazing. Oh my gosh. I got to clip that one and keep it and show it to Krista every time she gets mad at me.
Exactly.
No, that's amazing. Maybe Tyce, just because, you've been coming to the Space for years now, like, what do you like about the Space? What brings you back? What do you,
Well, I will tell you truthfully that I know you guys and I know where your heart and your integrity is. That's number one. But number two, the dancers that I have experienced working with here, they feel different than most of the kids that are in this generation of dancers. They have respect here. I feel like they take class with some sort of like reverence. I feel like this is what and they're just really great students. Yeah. They work hard in such a good way, and they're all really good.
And they all really want it. I feel
they do. I can feel the want, the desire, the passion, and all of the things.
One of the things about the Space that I've done over the years, and I've kind of come to realize, is like, we don't have a big sign on the outside that says the Space.
Right.
It's kind of secretive. It looks, even the outside doesn't look that great, but on the inside, I've kind of really developed the energy and the way it looks. And I want people, when they come, to feel good about creating. And
what a metaphor for life. Like, there's no big sign on the outside, but when you come in and you feel it on the inside, we know what's happening on the inside. That's like, I appreciate that.
Oh, thanks.
I do.
I think that's also why we get dancers, because I'm not out there advertising to them, like, come to the Space, flashy signs everywhere. It's like, I'm putting stuff out that we do. And if you see it and it resonates with you and you feel like you're attracted to it, then they come. And so by doing that, like you said, it's really bringing the right dancers with the right heart that want the right thing. And then they are stewarded to learn, right? And then they want to learn. But
it also goes back to what I was saying initially. Like, you don't have to yell it.
Yeah.
Right? You just do the work, and then everybody knows it's there.
Yeah.
We know it, we feel it, and we can see it. So I think, just saying,
we're on the same.
Yes, we're on the same page.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Exactly.
Well, we are so excited to have the one and only Marguerite Derricks with us today. This is so exciting. We've been talking with all of our wonderful educators and teachers that have been kind enough and gracious over the years to spend time with us in our programs at the Space. And you have been one of those people. It's such a full circle moment for me, thinking that I was in your class and working towards being one of your working dancers, and now you're coming here and you've actually hired my daughter for a job. So for me, it's really cool to see that and how longevity works in this business. And you are just a prime example of all of the things.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would love for you to brag a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind, because I'm assuming people that are watching, they might not know your history and what you've been up to and all the things that you've done for this dance community.
Well, I just recently got nominated, my 6th Emmy nomination for my latest show on Amazon Prime called Étoile. I worked on it for 2 years. We shot in New York and Paris. And it was off the heels of my last show, which was The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So the whole Maisel crew, we went from Maisel and then moved on to Étoile. So that's been really fun. And I've been shooting in New York for the past 7 years. So now that I'm back home, I'm hoping to shoot more in LA. Because at the beginning of my career, I was like always shooting like 3 movies in LA at a time. Like it was like the magical number 3. I was always doing, Charlie's Angels, Austin Powers, 10 Things I Hate About You, Little Miss Sunshine. Like there was always so many movies going on. And I'm hoping that, we get LA revved back up, because especially here at what you're doing at the space, the reason why, and of course I love you, but my main reason for wanting to come here is that you put such a focus on training and technique. And I feel like there's so many dancers that are so focused on just competing that they're missing out on that. And especially coming off of the show Étoile, which was a ballet show, like I'm all about technique. I love dancers with technique. That's why, as soon as your daughter was old enough, I couldn't wait to hire her and put her on film, because she deserves that. Mm-hmm. I feel like dancers that continue to train and work on their technique, those are the dancers that really, those are the ones that really should be working. And so
I have to agree.
Yeah, and I did an episode of this show on Amazon in February called Fallout, and I could have hired anybody for this job, but I made sure I hired dancers that I know were trained and had technique. Like, even though we didn't need it for that gig, I just feel like they're the ones that deserve to have all of the work. So I've been very blessed in my career. You can Google me. I've done probably about 40 or 50 movies, and wow, hundreds of TV shows and Broadway, and I had 4 shows in Vegas. So I've been around for a long time, but it all comes back to my teaching. I feel like the core of who I am is I'm an educator, and I love teaching, and I feel like that is really who I am.
I love this.
So I love coming here because it's, where I need to come in LA to find the real training dancers.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I grew up like that, so there wasn't an option. And I think today it's so different because the way people train.
Yes.
And speaking about all of the TV and all of the film, I would love for you to give our listeners any kind of advice that you would need if someone is going to be auditioning for a type of on-camera, show or a job like something like that. Because I feel like sometimes those skill sets aren't the same as maybe just someone going in and doing a tour or something different. That's
correct. I always tell the dancers today, they have something that you and I didn't necessarily have. You're a little later than me, so maybe a bit, but I didn't have the internet. When I was auditioning, I didn't have everything at my fingertips, YouTube to look at, or Google the choreographer to see what their work is, what their style is, how they like their dancers dress. I didn't have Instagram to look at. Do you know what I'm saying? So do your homework. I tell the dancers, do your homework. Look at what the choreographer does, because we're all different. So you can't prepare in one way. You got to prepare for each person that you're going in to see. And then look at the project too. That sometimes can direct you, for how you should go in. And for me, I always tell dancers, if you have any doubt, come in looking like a Fosse dancer, but not all in black. You need to have something where you stand out, because sometimes you're in a room with hundreds and hundreds of people. You need something to catch our eye, and then once you catch our eye, you got to deliver it with some really great dancing.
And it's hard. I feel like today everybody is good, right? Like the level of dancing. Yes. But then there are specific things that I know everybody that's casting or hiring is looking for. So I think finding that little moment. And you've been obviously casting in LA and casting in New York and casting in Paris and all these amazing things. What would you say the biggest difference is maybe from East Coast and West Coast dancers?
Well, right now, and God please, because I am a West Coast girl now, but the East Coast dancers, they're still like they're of the mindset, even the working dancers, where they take multiple classes a day.
They're training.
You know, and the West Coast dancers, there's some beautiful dancers out here, but I feel like they're not training the way they are in New York. They're not necessarily, you know, sharpening their tool as much.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and I do feel like, you know, it's sad because I feel like there's more opportunities in New York these days, and I hope that turns itself around. But you know, if you're gonna dance, keep training. I always tell dancers, do you want a job or do you want a career? And if you want a job, then you have to keep training and you have to keep growing. And you have to, when you get the job, you have to impress all of the people you're working with so that I say Rolodex and nobody knows what I'm talking about anymore.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right,
1, 2.
That's right. But you want to be in our iPhones, right? Yeah. You want to, because a lot of times there's everything in TV and film, it moves so fast that we're just hiring from people that we enjoy working with, that are in our phones. That's how you get a career. My career, with the Étoile, that was my 4th TV show with Amy Sherman Palladino and Dan Palladino. We did Gilmore Girls together, we'd Bunheads, then we did Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Étoile, because I impressed them that I'm their girl.
They can count on you. They know, and you're easy to work with.
They're not going to hire anybody else.
Right.
And a dancer wants to be that for multiple choreographers so that they can have a career. And they have to be able to be mobile. Just like Autumn, like she's all over the world. You have to be prepared to go out of, you can't just stay in one comfort zone, and you can't stay in one city. You got to be ready to hit it to New York or Atlanta or over in Europe, like wherever the job is, or even, you know, you just have to be mobile.
Yeah.
It's not, it used to be all in Hollywood, and it's not like that anymore. I hope it goes back, but it's not like that right now.
I think especially since COVID too, so much has changed and shifted as well.
So we change and we shift with it. Yeah. That's what I tell everybody.
I love that you are so training based. It's been obviously something that I love and that I just appreciate, because when you come here, the things that you have to say to the kids are just so amazing. And you are basically just the epitome of what any dancer and aspiring teacher would want to be and have and do in your life. So thank you to giving back to the dance community and always being willing to share.
My pleasure. I love coming to this space, for sure.
Thank you, Marguerite.
Of course.
So excited. We're here with Mr. Brian Friedman. Yes. And the hair is amazing. And you have new hair every time I see you.
I try my best.
And
I aim to please.
You can wear it well. We have known each other a long time, which is so fun. I feel like a lot of the educators and teachers that have come through here, it's really a full circle moment for me, especially teaching at the studio or even working with my daughter. So it's been really just such a cool experience for me. And so we've been just talking with people that have been in and out for the summer, and teachers and educators that have been here with us over the years, and asking them a little bit about their time here at the space and how you feel the kids have progressed, maybe a fun story, something fun kind of like that. Get your coffee
I feel like
ready.
I'm on a morning talk show. It's empty.
I only have water in there today,
but this
too.
looks like it would be a necklace of mine, and you're going to have to check my bag on the way out. So many fun stories. I mean, it's been 10 years now, which
you
is
were one of our very
crazy.
first teachers. This is our 10th summer.
Well, I mean, for people who haven't been here before and don't know what the space is all about, and when I say the space, I'm actually referring to the building that we're in. The space that we're in, it was crazy because it was just so tiny in the beginning, and it has grown and taken up this entire building from one end to the other. And every year when I would come back, I would keep walking to your office, and it just seemed further and further. It seemed like, you know, in a dream where you're walking, but you're not getting anywhere. That's what it always would feel like. So I am really proud of you for not having any more building to take over so that the walk can't get any further.
I know. I can't pay anymore either. So that's the end of this.
It just can't happen. It can't happen. But that has been the best part, is just watching the growth and success. And, you know, not all businesses succeed, especially a business model that isn't built to make money. You know, so many of those studios that are out there, they have the comp teams that really drive a lot of the money in. They're constantly doing stuff like that. And you provide something different, which is beautiful and necessary and difficult because it doesn't follow the same model as everyone else. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do feel like we've tried to for lack of a better word, step out of the box of just a normal studio where you have your rec kids, you have your comp kids, you have your recitals and your shows, and really, really focus on training. And I think that's something that you and I both grew up really respecting and understanding, that dancers have to continue to train. We actually spoke about it last night at dinner, talking about how as they get a little older, sometimes the training lacks because it's almost like, well, I'm working now, I don't have time to train. And with the training, for me, I mean, that's something that you see in all your kids. I also watch when I'm watching your assistants, the same thing. You're actually training them so that they're understanding. It's a whole nother skill set when they're going into audition and understanding that part of it. It brings me to the training, which I think is so important. And that's something that we focus on here and something that you appreciate as well with your assistants, your combos, all the different things that you're doing. I feel like everything has a technical element in it. Yeah. And I do love and respect that. Do you feel like that's been a big part of your career from as a young boy growing up into it?
Yeah, I wouldn't exist without my training and my foundation. And this generation, definitely there's a lack, and it comes from wanting to do choreography. And yes, choreography is fun, but when I grew up and when you grew up, you didn't get to do choreography without going through your beginning classes and your intermediate classes, and you worked your way up to be able to do all that cool choreography that you saw the older kids doing, but you had to do the proper steps to get there. And I feel like everyone's so excited to get to the finish line that they're not really, taking the first half of the race as seriously as they should be.
Yeah.
So, and it's not everywhere and it's not everyone, but, and I also love that people love dance so much and that they want to do it. It's just, they really need to understand that there is technique to it and that they've got to build that foundation.
When you're auditioning, let's say at Derricks or even in a class, or you were auditioning on a job, what kind of dancer are you looking for?
Everything wrapped into one. It's not enough for me to just be one thing. And that being said, I will notice you if you're one thing, and I will then try and help you fill in the gaps of what's missing in your training, because it's something different for everyone. Some people either are beautiful technicians, but they're lacking a little bit of the fire. Some people are all fire with zero skill. Some people are really good at picking up choreography, but there is no life in it. So it is really having all of those things, being able to retain choreography quickly, being able to be accountable for your details and not change the choreography, knowing how to let your star quality shine without changing choreography, having star quality, having technique, all of these things. So to me, a well-rounded dancer is someone that has everything. And then on top of that, they're a person that I want to be around. They're someone that fills the space with something positive rather than bringing negativity into the environment. And I think that really is first and foremost, especially if I'm looking for, a future assistant, someone that I want to mentor. A lot of the times there are bad seeds that I want to mentor, and it's because of their bad seediness that I see something. And if I can maybe help them and get them down a different path at a younger age, then they may see more success than they will if they stay on that negative mindset. We can't always
We've watched
fix
it
them,
over and over. Yeah.
but we try our best, and we give them all of the tools and honesty to help them succeed. But those are the things I look for.
I love that. I love when you send me little texts and you'll be seeing my students somewhere and just say how much they've improved or how well someone is assisting you. That for me, I feel like a mama bear there. And so I really do appreciate you taking care of, honestly, and caring for the kids and the students that, you're able to teach and that we're able to hopefully produce. Because my biggest thing is, like I said to you, I hope that they're out there doing good. I hope they are shining and showing what they've really worked for, which is, what me and Cory have both talked about.
Yeah.
Lastly, would you just give us like a word, not give us, let's say, would you leave us with a word of advice for any parents or anyone listening if their student or their dancer wants to get into this business?
Yeah. Well, for the parents and for the teachers of these kids, just know that success doesn't immediately happen, that you can't will something to happen as fast as you want it to. It will happen in its own time. And when it runs its course and it's meant to be, it will be. And I feel like a lot of people expect something right away. Parents will come up to me, what can I do so that my daughter wins this next year? And it's just not that deep. Just keep doing the work. Keep doing the work, keep working hard. And if it's meant to be, it will be. And if it's not meant to be, that has to be accepted as well. People don't really know how to take a win with the experience. They only take the win with the win. And the experience is the win. We all walk away with the same knowledge and information. It's just someone maybe has a trophy on a shelf, or someone has a title that they can have for a year. But when that title's gone, are you still relevant, or do you need the next title?
Yeah.
And do you have to keep replacing this insatiable desire to be the best, or can you just enjoy your life? Because if you're always chasing something else, when are you able to actually be happy?
No, and some of the best kids aren't working kids sometimes, or adults. Like sometimes that doesn't always translate. So you'll watch these kids are winning, and then all of a sudden they go to audition and they're not getting anything. And sometimes those things don't equal. And I think that is something parents do need to understand as well.
Or sometimes the kid doesn't win and then they win at life. One of my favorite examples is Stevie Dory. She is on Tate McRae's tour right now. She's a fabulous dancer, grew up as one of my students at the Pulse on tour. And every year she was a protege at the Pulse, and she would go to the summer event and audition, and she never won Elite Protege. She never became our assistant, but she moved to LA and worked her butt off and started gigging, and gigs nonstop, and is one of, so many people's favorite dancers out there that is working right now. She never won. She also never gave up. She just kept pushing. So you don't have to win. That is my advice to all the parents and teachers and kids out there, is it's not about the win.
So about patience. We all just need to be patient and present with the moment. I love that.
And I always say your win will come, and your win may not look like you thought it was going to look. Amen. You may not win at dance. I mean, is that a tough pill to swallow? It may be, but you may win at something else, and something you learned through your journey in dance could be applied to that and could make you stronger at that. You may end up writing a screenplay about dancers later that wins an Oscar, and you didn't even realize why that happened. Marguerite, she said it in a Q&A that I watched this year, talking about her goal and her dream was to be a ballerina. She moved to New York to be a ballerina. She never achieved that dream, and now she's choreographing shows like Étoile, which is all about ballerinas. And she's working with all of these soloists and amazing ballet dancers from companies. So it benefited her, but not in the way that she thought.
100%. You heard it, Mr. Brian Friedman. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have Danny with us
Krista.
today.
What's
I
going
am
on?
so excited. We've been talking with all of the teachers and educators that have been in and out, especially this summer. Yeah. It's important to us. It is our 10th year of our summer intensives.
Way.
So
I didn't know that.
We started with summer actually when we had the first room. So this is our 10th year. And I feel like you have potentially
I was like maybe like 9 out of the 10.
Know, I think so too. We've been so fortunate to have you, but it's been 10 years.
That's wild.
And we have just started this awesome podcast, Inside the Space with the Millers.
So exciting.
So we're just chatting with our friends and teachers in real common terms. And I think, everybody's always curious about kind of what goes on behind the curtain. So that's kind of what we're chatting about.
I love it.
So for me, you've been a part of our summer intensives. You've worked with both my academy program and my launch students for the last at least 4 or 5 years in that sense.
Absolutely.
I would just love for you to share maybe a little bit about what you feel about the program kids, how you've seen them improve, anything that you want to share with listeners about kind of what we do here.
I mean, I can't say enough good things about you guys. You know that. I'm obviously a huge fan of you guys here at the Space. But I think what's so wonderful, and I say this all the time to anyone that asks, the energy you guys create in the space, and the energy that I feel, the infectious energy, the contagious energy that I feel when I come in here. Like, the kids are so eager to learn. I know that there's so many opportunities out there nowadays, and a lot of times these opportunities are made mandatory through like studios or programs they're working with. But I feel like people, or the dancers that you guys have collected here at this program, truly want to be here and are here for other reasons than just selfish reasons. They're here to grow, to learn, to be a part of a team, to have fun, to experience the industry firsthand. And there's truly a genuine, authentic energy about that. Like I say, every time I come here, it's so infectious and so contagious. And I feel like I leave on a high every single time, which I think is so special. You don't see that often, you know what I mean? And I get it. Like I said, there's so many opportunities nowadays and so many different intensives and programs and venues to go and take class from. But truly, when I come here, I feel like everyone in the room really does want to be here, and the energy matches that. So it's really
Thank
special.
you.
Of course.
I agree. There are so many incredible, now there's more training programs than ever out there. There's more intensives. I mean, you could literally just take a different intensive every single week if you came out for the summer.
Absolutely.
So again, when I was growing up, there was just nothing like that. So I do appreciate that. And I do feel like there is a different energy, and you can't really explain it until you're in here. And Cory always talks about it. And if you're like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, there's just this energy that I do feel that, you know, has in the walls. And I feel like God always sort of just brings us the right people and the right beings. And kind of even speaking with all of the different programs and all the things that are out there, I just feel like there's room for everyone. And I think sometimes everybody gets a little, you know, intense with things like that. And I'm like, no, I think we're all good. Because who wants to do what we do is something different than what anyone else wants to do at other programs. So I think whether it's a parent or a student or a dancer, finding their own way to what works for them is really 100%. Important.
And everyone can coexist. All these programs can coexist. Everyone can learn and pull from something. There's something different from each program, which is great. But like you said, it is so hard to describe just the energy that you guys have here. And it's just really palpable. And I love it.
I love it. Well, I'm a firm believer in everyone being able to get along, especially in the dance world, because I think there is a lot of toxicity or negativity or things that people kind of really for no reason. Sometimes maybe just, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. So I feel like I'm hoping that we can start to change that as even the dancers that we're creating in the studio can be a better representation of the dance community, so that when they go out into the real world, they're positive and they've been secure enough to leave us and go out there and now know that they can feel okay if they're getting no's for auditions, or they don't have to feel like, I think sometimes the jealousy or a sense of entitlement that kids want to have just in order to exist, I think, in the dance world.
And it's hard, right? It's hard. So much of that is fostered in this industry. And it's like, to try and, you know, slightly change that narrative and make it be a little bit more of a positive experience is, it's difficult, but you guys are doing a really good job at that.
Thank you.
A really good job.
Being that you grew up in Canada, like give me, I mean, the Canadians are no joke. No. Like all the Canadian students, dancers, kids, adults, they rock. They work so hard and are so incredible when they come over. What's been the biggest difference from Canadians to American dancing, or what have you seen that maybe is a pattern? Or I'd just be curious, because I don't even know if a lot of people listening know you're from Canada.
They do. That's a very good point. Sorry, tomorrow. Just kidding. I know. I've gotten rid of pasta and but sorry and tomorrow are never going anywhere. But yeah, no, I did grow up in Canada. Super fortunate. I mean, the training there is exceptional.
Top notch.
Exceptional. It really is. And I'm so grateful to have had that experience. I would say the biggest difference for me firsthand, if I'm just looking at the way dancers are trained, and let's just even say West Coast America compared to like East Coast Canada, where I grew up, there is a sense of a slow burn in Canada. It's a slow burn. It's like when you make it to your senior year, and that's the pinnacle. That's the peak, and that's what you train and you work so hard to get to. Whereas I feel like, and there's nothing wrong with this, but there is such intense training at such a young age over in America in the West Coast, which I think is great. You know, it's wonderful. With that though, I do feel like we do see a little bit of burnout at an earlier age. Whereas, you like in Canada, there's like, 13 to 15 seniors graduating a year, whereas in America, it's like, it tends to be a little bit, especially on the West Coast, tends to be a little more rare that you see a large senior team, you know what I mean? And that's not specific to any certain region, but it just, because kids are trained so intensely, it's like, I know. And there's nothing wrong with that intense training. We do want to see the kids last. We want to see them make it to the end, you know what I mean? Or even beyond the end, right? I started dance late. So I started when I was 13. And I often think like, and my first like 3 years, it was just for fun, and it was the love of dance, and then when I was 15, it became a little more intense, and then 18, of course, I started working professionally, and I was very fortunate, and am very fortunate to continue to work professionally now. I do think though that if I was training at that level when like 5 or 8 or younger, I don't know that I'd still be doing it now. And that's because it's a lot, you know what I mean? And I think now, like we were saying, with so many opportunities, so many intensive opportunities, training opportunities, with the way social media is blowing up, like is so much coming at these kids so quickly that at a certain point, it's hard for the burnout not to happen. You know what I mean? They're so overwhelmed that sometimes they just want a different path. Whereas for me, it was like, I trained Monday, when I started training intensely at 15, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Like I couldn't wait to get to dance. It was like 3 days a week. And I was like, when do I get to go? When do I get to go? And now these kids, and they're so lucky, but it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're training all the time. And I think that would be the biggest difference I think, from at least when I was growing up in Canada to what I'm witnessing now in America.
I was hugely nervous about this with Autumn, even because I was like, even when everyone was like, she should be doing solos at this age. And I was like, wait a minute. You know, she didn't do her first solo till she was like 8. And I was very like, okay, one small group, one large group at that point, because I was so worried if she was going to really be good at this, how would I not get her to burn out at 17 or 18 when the career and hopefully the hardcore, more so intense elite training would even start then. So I think people think it's really at the beginning. Well, since we're talking about burnout, the last thing I want to ask you, because I know you get to see a lot of students and a lot of parents directing and, you know, working with all these amazing conventions. What advice would you have for, you get to see everyone coming in and out so much, and you probably get to see a lot of the same families and kids at the same cities, they keep going. And I know sometimes that can get tiring for the actual kid.
Absolutely.
Any like words of advice for parents that might, you know, are struggling with, I don't want to fall behind because I need to take them all these places. Cause I remember feeling that way sometimes, like, if I'm not taking Autumn everywhere, I'm going to be that, you know, mom that didn't pay attention to this genre and this. So, I mean, anything that comes to mind as you start to see that, do you see the burnout happen when it's just too much?
I do. And I think the biggest advice I would probably give to parents is listen to your kids. Because that's one thing I will say. You know, I have friends that have kids now and they have younger dancers and they're, you know, taking them to here and taking them here and getting them these privates. And again, it's a matter of keeping up with the Joneses, right? Like you just want to keep doing what everyone else is doing. And I'll joke with them and I'll be like, oh my gosh, really? And they're like, Danny, she wants to. Yeah. She tells me she wants to. That's why I'm taking you. And I'm like, okay, if you're listening to your kids and there's a genuine passion of like, they want to be there, they want to, okay, fine. And then the advice that I would give to the kids, and I know it's hard, especially at a younger age, but like be present in what you're doing and try and enjoy it as much as possible. I know it's so hard. There's always the like, what's next? What's the next class that I'm taking? I'm here today, but like I'm already thinking about the intensive I'm taking tomorrow down the street. And I'm just like being present in what's happening and really enjoying it for what it is, because they're such fleeting moments. You know what I mean? And they go by so fast. And I feel like I can imagine if I were these kids, like at a certain point you finish a week and you're like, what did I even just do? What did I even just, and it was all great and fun and whatever, but just really trying to stay present and enjoy it because it goes by so quick. And the more we're just thinking about what's next or like, okay, I'm getting this solo now, but what other solos can I get? Like just enjoy what's happening right now and stay in the moment a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because you can see it in their heads. Like they're always thinking ahead. And I feel like it's going to go by really fast and you're going to regret not enjoying it. So that would be those would be the two.
Great life advice for
and that's a thing for
dancers
anything.
And parents.
Thank
that's
you.
It.
Thank
right
you.
There.
You know what I mean?
Present. And we all know
it
goes by too fast. You guys heard it from Danny Lawn. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Krista. I appreciate it.
Okay, this is so exciting. I get to see you a lot more, but we have Miss Christina Grady with us today. And we've been just trying to chat with people that have been invested in our kids and our programs and our studio, and that's got your name written all over it. So we'd love for you to brag a little bit about yourself, tell us a little about your journey and some of the things that you like to do when you're with us here at the studio.
Thank you. Well, first of all, if you guys could see this whole setup, it's unreal right now. So it's like every time I come here to the space, there's like another elevation that you and Cory do. So I just want to like props. It's just unreal. Every time I come, I'm like, surely nope, we got another level that we're doing. It's so cool. So one of the million reasons why I'm always so inspired and grateful to come back here. Let's see. It's been over 5 years since
COVID time, right?
COVID time. I'll never forget coming here, and it was like that first class, the magic. And it's something that you can't put your finger on that happens in these walls. That's like the theme, right? Of the.
We talk about it a lot, the energy that exists here.
The energy.
But it's really interesting how teachers will say that too. I know the students will say that, and we believe it and we feel it, that we can't explain it until it actually just happens.
It's so real, which was the theme of this past year's showcase, which I think like totally captured it in such an amazing way for those who maybe come to the showcase or tune in. So anyway, that's what got me off the jump. And then of course, we are like family now. So it's just coming back is always such a joy to see you guys. But the kids, being able to work with dancers from all over the world that are just that top tier level with the energy that matches what us as a part of the space family are, it's like an instant connection. And then each year I come back and I'm like, okay, who are the new launchers? Who are the ones coming back? Because it's so hard, right? We love when we see them flourish and go on to do all their amazing things, which they always do, which is so cool to witness. But when we're all back together with the veterans, if you will, it's an unmatched energy. So I love being a part of this more than anything. And then what's been so cool for me is like when I hear from all of these, I'll call them kids, even though some of them are fantastic, mature young adults, so many of them. But when I hear about their dreams, whether it's industry wanting to dance and tour and be in movies and films and all these things, or they immediately are like that choreographer route, it's something special for me to get to share that part of my journey and my background with them in a way that hopefully helps guide them. And I teach on convention, and that's another special piece of my heart. But here I get to really dive in with them and like get to know them and help guide them. And of course, as one of their number one mentors, like that's the part that for where I'm at this place in my life brings me so much joy.
And I think in the launch program or even in the academy program, I mean, we get a little spoiled because we get choreographers and educators like yourself, and they're coming in and sharing a piece of everything that they've done, whether the tours that you've been on with Lady Gaga or music videos or the AMAs. I think real life experience is also hard to compare, like to explain to someone until you're physically in it. And I think you do a fantastic job of preparing them for on camera and what is stage going to feel like, stamina, things that people don't really think about, because I think something we've been talking a lot on the podcast is you don't actually have to be the best dancer. You actually have to be able to build relationships to understand how the business works. And you are a perfect example of one of those relationships. So,
well, ditto, because the same in your massive career. So that means a lot coming from you.
And Nola, you must agree that launch and you like it here because your tail is going and going and going the whole time.
Well, she's loving it because she's like, wait, the camera's on me, the lights are on me. This is my daughter's version of her best life.
And she's
right now.
the cutest.
Well, thank you. And she loves coming to this space. But yeah, it's just, it's that magical place that if I could have dreamt this phase of my life, it would have been this. After that dance career that I feel so blessed to have had, this is what I always vision, like to get to help the next and be a part of the next and to do it with people I call family and love. So
it's important to empower that next generation.
Yes, absolutely.
Lastly, I just want to ask you if you have one memorable moment or aha moment in class or something with the kids that it just was like when you're like, wow, I know this is my place.
Well, there's definitely a few that come to mind. I will say a moment that just surpasses so many things was when you guys and Tony Selznick gave me the honor of teaching the Vincent Patterson tribute class. We were, in sort of really diving into study the greats, not the trends. And obviously, Vincent is one of the greatest greats of all time. But the fact that you guys gave that is the biggest gift to me. Like, I'm talking career highlight. But then to get to share it with all those kids that I love, and then I'm looking at them like what they're going to do next and all the things, but that we all got to have that together. It was like the most unforgettable moment. And to know all the generations, because it's like Vincent, his generation and all the things he does and did, your generation and Cory, then there's me, then there's our launchers. Like it was like, I remember feeling so present in that, what was it, like 2 hours or something? I don't know.
It was fast.
Yeah. And Tony, of course, Tony has been a part of every generation.
Absolutely.
Like he still is, obviously, as just an incredible agent and industry person he is. So that for sure takes the cake, because you couldn't have told me that as a young girl studying all of his choreography and stuff, that I would be here. And then that you guys would.
And it was everything that you've always preached and believe in, which I think is fantastic. So You heard it from Miss Christina Grady. Thank you for being with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause, please. We have Tessandra Chavez here today. Yay! How exciting. Tess has been here since the beginning, so she's kind of watched the evolution of the space.
Yeah.
And we've just been asking teachers that have been coming in the summer, just like, how is their experience teaching at the space? Why do they like to teach? What is different and special energy? Because I've heard a lot of people talk about that. So if you don't mind just sharing a little bit about, your experience at the space.
Yeah. I've been here a long time and I love it. And I keep coming back because the people at the head, you and Krista, are genuine, authentic people who truly care about the people in front of them that they are mentoring and guiding as human beings, not just artists. And for me, that resonates because that speaks to my calling as well. I don't believe in just training dancers. I want to train and mentor and guide human beings that will go out into the world and thrive in whatever capacity and use the tools that they've learned through dance, through this art form that is so universal and beautiful, and take it with them in any way, whether it be relationship skills with good communication or being a veterinarian and performing a surgery where nerves are involved. There's so many things that
they have to do choreography.
They have to do choreography in a surgery, totally. But taking that high pressure situation that you can a lot of times feel in dance and being able to translate it into the real world. And of course, there's also a percentage that go on to be professional. And I'm also proud of that. And I feel like you and Krista truly mirror that philosophy, which is why the space has always felt like home for me. I come in here and I feel no pressure. I just feel acceptance. To be fully, imperfectly me in front of your kids that you guide and be like a fun aunt that comes in and helps guide them and maybe see things in a different way that probably you two have already said. But say it in a different way where they can maybe have that light bulb and feel transformed.
Yeah, I feel like, we only get you so many times a year because, everybody's busy, and it's really nice when you do come, you do bring this like magic, you share the right things, I feel like, with them to pull the right things out of them, if that makes sense. Like, especially for me, watching from a visual standpoint, every time you come, you articulate the things that I think are really important in this industry so well. And I feel like that's why the space kind of resonates with you. There's some educators that just really have that there's a lot of people that have some chemistry with the space. They come in, they teach a great class, it's hyped, it's great. But the ones that like really come in and like they leave like the blood, sweat, and tears on the floor, and they like you said, they care. Like it's noticeable, and it really makes a difference, I feel like, in the space. So thank you so much for always, just being open to come and share and make that 2-hour drive every day from LA.
Anytime.
Just on one, ending note, because we'll keep it short, but like, what advice would you have for like the newer dancers coming up in this generation? It's very different than when you, me, and Krista were growing up, right? So, what advice now that you're a little more seasoned, you've been doing so much, what would be something you would give them?
My advice to the younger generation would be to stay grounded outside of dance, because dance can suck you in and make you so obsessed with being great, which is a beautiful thing because dance is healing and powerful. But it also can pull you in so much that you can lose your identity and forget who you are and forget what's important in life. So my advice for young dancers is to, yes, go train hard, compete, win, celebrate your win, but also celebrate your failures and know that when you fail, you're enough. And also nurture the many relationships in your life that are important to you. And go stand in grass, go see water, go enjoy nature and connect with real life, because there's more to life than dance. And the more that you infuse that in your heart, mind, body, you only bring that to the dance, and that just makes you a stronger artist when you do step onto the floor. Because being an artist is ultimately about being a human being. Yeah. And the more human you are, the more you resonate and you connect. So that would be my advice.
Wow. I mean, I'm going to let that settle, because that was so much wisdom in a couple sentences.
Thank you.
And there's not a lot to add to that. So thank you so much, Tess.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Love you.
Love you too. And
yeah,
we're going to have to get you on here for like a full deal, and maybe
I would love it.
Maybe a couple glasses of wine
Oh my
and
God,
like
absolutely.
a little bit of like conversation with a few of us. It would be beautiful.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Just chat.
Yeah.
Chat
Thank
about
you for
life.
having me all
Thank
these
you.
years.
Awesome.
It's home.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. All right. So I guess we're set up. We're here with
Let's do it.
Cassie, everybody. Round of applause. Woo. As you know, we're here for our summer events at the space, our intensives. This is our, believe it or not, our 10-year anniversary of doing summer intensives. We started with one room, and now we have like all four.
And now it's like, what, 70 in the junior room or something like that?
Now there's 70 in the junior. Yeah.
Period.
Started off with like 10. So
that's incredible. That's an amazing feat.
It's very exciting, but we're super happy to have you here.
Excited to be here.
Maybe, I don't know how we want to start, but we've been starting with teachers just because we've been interviewing different educators that have been coming through the doors, and I feel like we're very specific about the teachers that come here. We really look for professional working choreographers, people that are like out doing their job, but then they can bring that back into the space and kind of educate the next generation of kids. So maybe start with like, what is it like teaching at the space? What was it like even from the outside before you came in?
As soon as I came here, I kind of felt at home, which is crazy to say, because obviously I am from Australia, and I was at Brent Street for a very long time, and that's my home in Australia. And I got that same feeling here. And it's something you can't really put your finger on it, but it's an energy and a vibe and a fight in the kids. Like, you can tell every single person in the room wants to be here and wants to learn, which is so exciting. And then like, obviously from the outside, you see these incredible videos that these like dancers do and that you take, but like coming here, you understand the process that happens behind the scenes. And it's like, there's no magic wand to make these people that good. And you see the end product with these videos, but what coming here shows me like how much effort and intensity and like passion and commitment it takes to make those incredible videos. Yeah. So,
that's cool.
Which is really cool. And they have like that little Australian fight and attack, which I love as well. So yeah, it's like a family here. I really feel at home. The energy is so lovely. Yeah.
I feel like from the very first time you came, we felt that too. And I know we had met you kind of through Autumn, because you had come here and then you went on tour with Autumn. And,
we did.
Yeah.
we connected straight away.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us maybe, for some of them listening, like, that was a pretty big gig for you, coming straight off Brent Street, coming straight from Australia, straight into LA, into a big tour. What was that like?
It was hard. I'm not going to lie. Just like even just coming to a new country and with dancers that you don't know, they don't know you either, your style, how you teach, how you work. It was the first tour that we did for J Balvin it was hard for me.
Yeah.
Just because I was kind of trying to find my feet, and I didn't, because I'm an intense teacher. Like, I give a lot, I expect a lot, but it's also a professional environment. So you need to be respectful of their craft and who they are, because they've trained just as hard as I have.
Right.
So it was just kind of like finding my footing on like how I want to like be in the room and like getting their energy as well.
I think that's really good for the kids to hear, because I don't know what it is about social and about the industry, but I don't think people realize how hard things are to get to the end result.
For sure.
A lot of people see the end result without the work, and a lot of like,
they don't understand
visual.
how much it takes to get there. And even when you're there, how much work it still takes to stay there.
Right.
But yeah, so the first Balvin experience was definitely hard. I feel like since doing a few more now, I've kind of found my groove a little bit and found my people and how I like to run a room here. But it's like, it is good for the kids to know that I'm just as nervous as they are. Do you know what I mean? And I read people's energies, and I I always was like, why is everyone so quiet here? Are they hating my stuff? But no, they're just so focused and they're trying to like be a sponge. But that's on me then to tell my students, everyone, that I like a loud room. Right. As long as it's respectful, and when I have something to say, it's quiet and you listen and you learn, but it's like just being open and honest of who you are, what you need, what you want from them, because they can't read your mind. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I'm like, why you get like, I'm like, oh, because I haven't told you. Like, oh, I have actually got to use my words. But yeah, it's a learning experience, and I'm doing these amazing things, but I'm still learning every single day.
Yeah. What are you most excited about in like this next season of your career?
I'm excited about the unknown, which is weird for me to say because I like consistency. I like knowing where my next paycheck's coming from. I like doing the same things every day, but I'm excited to just live almost like let the universe speak for me, because I feel like even moving here, the universe is just kind of aligned for me. And I'm excited about the opportunities that living in America and living in Los Angeles can bring. Because it is hard. It's really hard in Australia. There's not much work, which is really, really sad because there's so much talent there. But if even I can help some of my Australian people that I've trained get here as well, that would be super exciting for me, because I am an educator first, choreographer second, and my student success is my success. So if I can help them in any way I can, like, that's a win for me. Yeah. So I'm excited just about the opportunities, really. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's it.
Well, my name is Sienna Lyons. Again, I've been in LA for 17 years now. I moved out here right out of high school at 18 from Seattle, Washington. And I have been doing this crazy game for that long. It's been a long ride. So, you know, it wasn't an easy journey, but I'm grateful that I waited it out and went through the hard times and the good times and all those things, because I'm happy and I love what I do so much.
That's so good, because I feel like the kids these days are so impatient. They expect it to happen now. And, because we work with 16 to 21, 22-year-olds, they think, oh, I'm going to move to LA and I'm going to make it big.
Right. And I think, sometimes we're even told that by choreographers that we might take from on convention. And, I do feel like their intentions are correct, but sometimes kids really take that to heart. That kind of happened to me. I assisted for a lot of conventions, did the whole thing, had all the relationships already. And it took me 7 years after moving here to be consistently a working dancer. So, of course, through those 7 years I would work, but it wasn't consistent. It would be like, I book a tour, I don't work for a year. I book a movie, I don't work for 6 months. So I was in and out too of working in the industry and having to get side hustles. So that took a span of 7 years to get to that consistent level where I didn't have to have a side hustle anymore. And then now I'm hitting year 10.
How did you find choreography and directing and stuff? Because
it found me, actually. I like to put it like that. I moved here to dance. I started teaching at 16 in Seattle, but I just thought I was making up dances. Like, I didn't know, I didn't think of myself as a choreographer. And I did not move here at all to do that, or so I thought.
Interesting.
I moved here to dance. And then my mentors, Shonique Sneed and Lisette Bustamante, I assisted them when I was a kid. So when I moved to LA, they were my wings that guided me through the right paths and helped me with that. And right away, they were like, you need to start assisting. You're really bossy, is what they told me. You're really good at being bossy and you're very clear with your communication. And I was like, at 18, I'm like, okay, like whatever.
Sure.
Still wanting to dance, right? So I started assisting them. They're telling me things like, you are good at this. Like, you're really good at being on this side. You're quick with solutions. And I'm still like, yeah, that's cool, but I want to dance. But all these things started happening without me really putting a lot of focus into it, which I know isn't the norm. So I definitely say it chose me in that sense, because I didn't move here to do that. And that's when I finally, I guess, accepted it, which is funny. That's when all the dance stuff started happening. It's like I just had to let it go and kind of go where I was being pulled naturally, which was teaching and choreographing. I kind of skipped steps, if you say, like the order of how it all worked for me wasn't the norm.
Did you, or did you just stop forcing what you kind of wanted
100%.
And let like the natural progression of your artistry of who you are
100%
take shape? Yeah.
Yes. So cool. That would be my advice, is like, sometimes you think you move here with a certain thing you want to do, and then you might get veered off in another direction. I say follow it.
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, if it's happening naturally, you might as well go with it. And if it still gives you joy, and it did. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit just about like teaching at the space, you know, how you found the space or what you think when you come here. Cause you're a regular here.
I'm a regular, and I'm trying to think of when I started coming. I feel like it was right before COVID.
Yeah.
Like
19.
Because I remember it was 2019, maybe 18. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Something like that. I started coming in every few months or so. And then COVID happened, and I would come up here and do privates, like when it was safe to do that. So yeah, it's been over 5 years, 6 years at this point, which is insane. I love it. I always say this is one of my favorite places in the entire world to teach. Just the level of dancer is so fun to play with. That's the words I like to use. It's fun. I can really give them anything I can throw them out. Like it can be any style of dance, hip hop, jazz, funk, heels, character driven styles. And they're always down for the ride. They're always down for the push. Yeah. And that's what I love. And not that, you know, of course there are so many places in the world where that is the case. It's just a different energy that's curated here that I really, really enjoy. And I always try to make time to come up here and teach because it fuels me to be a better teacher.
Amazing. Thank you so much for contributing to the space's energy.
Yes.
A lot of teachers and students come and they're always like, there's something different about it. And I always tell them it's because of the creatives that do come here. They invest in it and they leave their art here and it lives in the walls. And I've said it before.
Yeah.
And all the kids that come here, they're hungry for something new and different and excited for what is to come. And so even the kids that come, they're always like, just like what you said, they're always like, I love it here because everyone's on the same mission to try to be better. And, you know, we're not like trying to get a gold trophy.
Exactly.
We're literally trying to become better for ourselves, you know?
I feel like that's a big reason too. It's like, the stakes are high still here, very high, but without that pressure, that sometimes is unnecessary. And just to really
Especially
be able
when
to
you're
focus.
developing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're training, you're still learning. It's still very much a practice, you know, and that practice never leaves. But to really gain a strong practice with, you know, you guys bring in the best of the best people in here too. So just to be able to have those opportunities of being in front of some of the biggest choreographers in the game is really priceless. So it's a great place. And another thing I love about the space is when, you know, they reach that point where they're ready to fly. And then I see them in LA and I see them in classes there. And, you know, I just was able to book one of the space kids on the Kids' Choice Awards. And that was That's incredible. You know, so I enjoy seeing after all the work is done here and then it's time for them to fly. When you see them flying and doing, you're like, oh my gosh, you're doing it. You know, it's like all that practice, you're doing it now and you're living it.
And you know you can trust them because you're like, oh, I've watched them grow up and they're getting the right direction.
The past 2 or 3 years or however long. So that's my favorite part too, is seeing them outside of here and just seeing the people they've grown into and then putting all of it into work and fruition. It's awesome.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing and thank you for always investing in us.
Yes, of course. I love the space.
Awesome. Right on. Yeah. See you at the Lions.
So thanks for having me, Cory. I remember meeting your family. Gosh, I can't even tell you how long ago, but Autumn was like 10 years old, maybe younger. And I booked her on Dancing with the Stars with me because I was choreographing this kids number. And I just remember like meeting her and being like, this is like my twin flame. Like I get this girl so well. And from that point, like you and Krista were just so generous and kind and welcoming and accepting of who I was. And, you know, jump 6 years after that, you guys open up this space. And I remember reaching out to Krista because I hadn't spoken to you guys in a minute. And I was like, hey, if you ever like want a class, let me know. She's available. And I pitched solo ballroom to you guys for the first time. And I don't think we had ever really done it, even myself, but I was like, there has to be a market for this. There has to be a place where this is accepted and can be commercial and it can be broadly used. And so when we did that first class, and I still have the footage from our first class that we ever did.
Wow, in the white room over there.
Yes, and it was before we painted it. Like all the updates were not there, but I remember just the fire and the response and like the eagerness from the dancers that you had here and like the willingness to learn.
Yeah.
But ultimately what I took away from that, other than a really sickening video, Cory, it was just this feeling that you guys possess here and what you promote here. And it's something that I preach even to just random strangers who ask about the space and the program here and how I got involved with it. But there is this aura. There is this thing here that you can't describe unless you're here, unless you experience it yourself. And it comes from you and Krista. And I think like if we can all take even just a little bit of that into all of our careers moving forward, this dance world would be a far better place.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's true. I mean, what we have here is a gold mine, in my opinion. And I'm inspired to come and teach here, which I think is a rare thing for dance teachers. I think sometimes we fall into this pattern, right?
Yeah. Especially with all the conventions and the traveling every summer and all of the stuff.
You never know where you're at. You just kind of wake up and you're in a new city. Like it's a lot of work, but there's something very different here. And I push myself here because I want to push all the dancers, but I think it levels up me too as a teacher and as an educator and a choreographer. So thank you for providing that to me and trusting me with that process.
Wow, well, it's been a pleasure, and you've added so much value to these guys' careers and stuff.
Thank
and
you.
so we're really excited.
Well, that's what I care about. I mean, these dancers, no matter what season it's been, I mean, I've been with you guys from day one now, and like leading the ballroom department has been just such a joy because I'm seeing these dancers that are graduating or moving on. I'm just grateful to be a part of it and to be able to be here every single month and help guide these dancers down a path maybe they didn't see for their futures.
No, for sure.
But like, they're all booking weird ballroom gigs and it's making me so happy.
Well, Chris has always been a firm believer in the well-roundedness and offering all, and Dancing with the Stars, was very popular at the time. And so there was, and ballroom was kind of becoming this like element that you needed in LA and in the commercial dance world. So thank you so much for just even your passion when you come here and your professionalism. It's unmatched.
Thank you.
And thanks.
Well, I love it. So thanks for letting me do it.
Awesome. Well, we got to go now because she's got a class to film for Space TV. If you want to take some Space TV classes from Lacey, she's on
like and subscribe
platform.
Below.
Or come to the space and take classes.
Here.
Yeah.
Truth. Yeah.
I mean, you said it, you don't know what it's like until you come here. So
100%.
Hey, there's Autumn.
Autumn! Wait, pause.
Yes.
Hello, Derrick. Schrader.
Schrader. It's like straw, but Schrader.
I love when you say that because I think I've said Schrader for so long. So now we all have it. It is here on the podcast saying Schrader. I love that with the straw. It really helps. It really helps.
Yes.
Well, we're super excited to have you. We've been talking to different educators and teachers that have been in and out of the space in the last, you've been here with us for over 5 years, I would say.
Yeah, over
We've
5
been
years.
really blessed to have you in this jazz lane, which, as you know, the technical person that I am, it makes me so happy. Even when you were correcting today, going, where is that heel?
Yes.
Turn it out. I'm like, oh, a man after my own heart. So it makes me so happy. You know, I would love for you to just chat a little bit about your time here with us, being involved in the launch programs. You've done a lot of choreography for us, working with the kids, some growth, any kind of stories or anything that you would love to share.
Wow, it's a lot. Yeah, so for me, I think what I love about this space is that, kind of like you said, going off what you said, is it is a training program and technique is a focal point here, which I love because for me, I do jazz and I do different avenues of jazz. So I feel like I'm in a space that is training and working what I love and what's in my choreography with the technique. So it's a nice little like fusion home of training and jazz and other styles, but it feels like with technique being the focus that my voice is heard here. And I love that. I think too, through the years, what I love is that I know that space is always evolving and changing. And with that, I kind of put pressure on myself to change too. So every time I'm driving here, I live in Los Angeles. And when I drive here, I'm like, I'm thinking about what I want to do and how I want to change so that it's not stale, because it's never stale here. And you don't ever want to bring stale energy. And I think that's what I love, is that we're all kind of like pushing each other and like encouraging each other and shifting with each other. And I think that's what's been the coolest thing for me is that I think I've changed just as much as the students are changing and growing, and we're all pushing. And that's what I love. I think in a lot of places that I go, it's like, this is what it is and this is what we do. And it's never like that here. And for me being a Taurus and Earth sign, and I love things to be really the same and stable and, there is that here, but it's not ever a stale vibe. So I like that I put pressure on myself to bring my A game because everybody's bringing their A game.
I love that. We're trying to up our A game here. I mean, you know, even like starting the podcast, I feel like we have so much valuable information to share with parents, teachers, students.
Yeah.
And I think no one really knows about really what we do here. And so I think being able to interview or chat with people that have been in out and have seen how the space has evolved, starting with 1 room, 2 rooms, 3 rooms, 4 rooms. But really for me, I think it's about the growth of the students. And I love what you said, that you are being able to be seen and heard with what your style is, because we're trying to also evolve with what's happening in the business, right? If this style is happening in this style, we have to kind of do the same thing. But being able to push yourself as, I think, an educator or teacher, me too. I can't just show up to class and be like, hey, we're going to do this today. I really have to put thought into what I'm doing. And then it pushes me to actually even really find myself in a new place and go, okay, how do I keep technique even interesting for them as well? How has it been when you've worked with the students doing choreography? How have they worked for you?
I love it because, again, like, because this is a training facility, is like, we're doing the job. We're doing the work. We're doing this as like a manifestation of the next step. It's not just steps. It's not just choreo. It is a process for something greater. So that's what I love. And again, when I'm doing choreography, I put a lot of pressure on myself, but it's cool because everybody's putting pressure on themselves. And I think it's good pressure and it's healthy pressure. And it's nice to be working on projects that means something, you know, they mean a little bit more. Not that other things that I've done don't, but here it just feels like there's a bigger goal. There's a transitioning goal. There's a big process to it, and it feels good to be a part of it. So doing choreography, I love it.
It's great.
Intense. Yeah,
and
I love
like
it.
For you with your choreography, I feel like it's always different. Even your combos. I mean, like you said, you have this inspired with that, or you have a fusion of this. It's never the same. And my favorite is when you go across the floor and the kids are just trying to figure it out. And they've done it before. It's like, can you not figure out what? But I love that because it really involves here. And I think people do think it's all about the steps.
Right.
Lastly, I feel like the students grow every single year. You know, what is your take on the growth when these kids are done with the program? What do you see?
Well, I think it's them turned up. You know what I mean? Like, it's them as we saw them when they first come in, but it's just the volume and all the like little knobs have just been turned up to like who they truly are, or just a little bit more of a louder version of themselves, which I really like. Because I think like when you bring in so many professional teachers and choreographers, like you're kind of forced to find yourself. You're forced to struggle, and then you find yourself in that struggle here, and it is a safe space, so you can struggle pretty hard, and you come out like this, I don't know, just elevated version of yourself. It's just a little bit more turned up.
You heard it from Derrick, Schrader. We are inside the space with the Millers. Thanks for being here.
And that concludes our episode for today. I hope you enjoyed it.
Summer at the Space. Subscribe, share, send us some questions, and we'll be back soon.
Peace.